He was screaming from the other side of my gate. "You can't just lock this! My mom says this road is for everyone." I looked at him, barefoot, wearing a messy hoodie, holding his phone like it was a weapon. The funny thing? That road he was yelling about was my private driveway, clearly marked private property with 2 steel signs. I had just finished painting the new gate last week. Black iron, heavy, and with a coated lock. After months of random cars cutting through my land to reach the HOA park behind my house, I finally had enough. It wasn't even their land. But of course, the infamous HOA Karen next door had a different version of reality. She told everyone that the old gravel road was community access, even though the deed said otherwise. Now her teenage son stood there, face red, dialing 911. "Yeah, there's a crazy man locking us out," he shouted into the phone. I could hear the operator asking questions. He exaggerated every word, just like his mom. I stayed calm, hands in my pockets. "You can go tell your mom to check her property lines again," I said quietly. He glared at me like I insulted royalty. Within minutes, 2 police SUVs pulled up. I sighed, already expecting how this would go. Karen came marching right behind them, sunglasses, clipboard, and that fake smile that always made my skin crawl. "Officers," she pointed at me, "he's trapping us on community property. He can't block the gate. It's against H." The next morning, I woke up to the sound of drilling. At first, I thought it was just construction from the other street. But when I stepped outside, my blood boiled. Karen's son and 2 HOA volunteers were on my driveway, installing a brand new community access pathway do not block sign right next to my locked gate. I marched down, still half asleep, and yelled, "What the hell are you doing on my property?" Karen appeared from behind her SUV like she was waiting for that moment. "Oh good, you're up," she said in that sickly sweet tone. "We had an emergency board meeting last night. The HOA voted that this road is essential access for residents. You can't close it." I laughed. "Karen, you can't vote on something you don't own." She folded her arms. "The HOA owns everything in this neighborhood, sweetheart, including your attitude." Before I could reply, one of her volunteers stepped forward and started spraying white paint on my asphalt, marking a fake property line. That was the final straw. "Get off my land now," I shouted, reaching for my phone. Karen smirked. "Go ahead, call the cops. They already warned you once, remember?" That's when I realized she had planned this. She wanted me angry, wanted me to make a mistake she could use against me. But I didn't bite. Instead, I started recording. "Smile for the camera, Karen. You're trespassing, defacing private property, and impersonating legal authority again." For a second, she froze, but then that fake confidence came back. "You think your little videos scare me? I'm friends with the county inspector. He'll shut your gate down before you even upload that." I looked her dead in the eye. Then maybe he should check his emails first. Because what she didn't know was that 2 weeks ago, I had sent every document, map, and deed reference number to the county's legal office, just to make sure no one could pull this stunt again. And yesterday, I got their response. I walked back toward my porch, pulled out my phone, and opened the email. Karen's face went pale. "What do you mean, private property?" she screamed at the tow driver, waving her clipboard like it was a badge. The driver, calm as ever, shrugged. "Ma'am, order came straight from the county office. This address is registered under one owner, not the HOA. That owner requested removal." He pointed at me. Karen's mouth fell open. "You can't do that. This man is lying. The HOA—" I stepped closer, holding up my phone. "You mean this email from the county legal department?" I turned the screen toward her. The subject line glowed. "Confirmation of private easement rights. Case closed." Her eyes flickered, darting from me to the cops who had arrived, again. Only this time, it wasn't the same friendly faces as before. It was the county sheriff himself. "Morning," he said, stepping out of the car. "Got a report about unauthorized signage and trespassing?"
Karen immediately rushed toward him. "Sheriff, thank God you're here. This man is harassing me, towing my car." He held up a hand. "Karen, stop. We've already spoken with the county clerk. This property isn't under HOA management. You're trespassing." The silence that followed was almost satisfying. Karen's son looked like he wanted to disappear. "Sir," the sheriff turned to me, "you've got full rights to secure your gate. Anyone crossing this line without permission will be cited." Karen laughed nervously again, the same way she had yesterday when she got caught lying. "Oh, come on, Sheriff. You can't expect us to believe this paperwork. This man just moved here." The sheriff looked at her. "You mean the retired military engineer who bought this land from the original developer?" "Yeah, Karen, we did our homework." Her expression cracked. You're military?" she stammered. I nodded slightly. "Retired, but I still know how to protect what's mine." The tow truck started pulling her SUV off the driveway, and the sound of the metal chain clicking echoed like justice. Karen shouted after it, "You'll regret this! The HOA will appeal."
That night, I sat on my porch. The gate finally locked again. The air calmed for the first time in weeks. The moonlight bounced off the fresh private property sign the sheriff himself had placed there earlier. For once, I thought maybe this was the end of it. But I should have known better. Karen doesn't back down. Around midnight, headlights flashed outside. A black SUV stopped near the fence line. At first, I thought it was her son again. But when the door opened, a tall man in a suit stepped out. He walked straight toward my gate with a flashlight. "Can I help you?" I called out, grabbing my phone. He turned, flashing a badge. "County Code Enforcement." I sighed. "You've got to be kidding me." He cleared his throat. "We've received a complaint that you installed an illegal structure blocking public access." I smirked. "Let me guess. Karen?" He hesitated for a second, then nodded slightly. "Look, sir, I'm just doing my job." "Then do it right," I said, handing him a copy of the same county email with signatures and stamps. He scanned it with his flashlight, then let out a low whistle. "Well, this is official. Someone's been wasting my department's time." Just then, Karen's voice cut through the night. She had come running down the street, robe and slippers on, screaming, "Don't listen to him! That gate blocks community land!" The officer turned toward her, firm. "Ma'am, this property is not HOA land. In fact, your repeated false complaints could lead to legal action." Karen froze mid-step. What? He continued. "You've submitted 6 fraudulent complaints this month. One more, and you'll be facing fines, possibly charges." Her face went white. She looked from him to me, the same man she'd tried to humiliate in front of the whole neighborhood, and for the first time, she had no words, just silence. The officer shook his head and left, his SUV disappearing into the dark. Karen stood there, gripping her robe, tears building in her eyes. "You think you've won," she muttered. I looked at her calmly. "No, Karen, I just stopped losing." She turned and walked away, slowly, for once, not shouting, not threatening, just quiet. The next morning, the neighborhood felt different. People waved. A few even stopped by to say they were tired of her antics too. One of them whispered,